was, once or twice, and then like 2 weeks later she's pregnant.
Is that what happened?
Yes. It's just like, it was more of like surprise, scared. I'm like, wait, what? Like we just talked about this. Like, and then people have brought up the fact like, oh, she was probably pregnant before, like you guys even talked about it. I'm just like, that's not, no. But like, it was insanely fast. I give it that. Like, that's the only reason I ever gave that notion, like, even the moment of thought, because it was like faster than any other time that she'd gotten pregnant.
You just didn't seem happy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I don't remember the video much. I know she was wearing like a "Oops, we did it again" shirt, I think, and I was walking with my cooler or something. And I don't remember like my actual like reaction, like watching the video, but like I could see her surprise. See like didn't seem like he was jumping for joy type thing.
yeah, it didn't seem like that.
Did you watch the one of when I found out about Cece?
No,
okay.
is it totally different?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because Bella was in the crib and it had an eviction notice on the.
Oh, yeah, I think you told me about it. Yeah, I never saw it though.
Yeah, I picked up Bella and spun her around and whatnot. This time it was just me and Shanann, and she was in the kitchen. I don't know, like, I don't forget what date it was. Maybe like June 3rd or 5th or 7th. I'm not sure like what date it was in the video, but maybe I already felt guilty about talking to Nikki at work.
Yeah.
Maybe that was going through my head.
Is that the potential timing? Does that make sense? Okay.
I don't remember the video, what date the video was, but I knew like I'd kind of met Nikki around like June 1st. I knew like she told me like afterwards.
When you say met her, you mean like went on a date with her?
No, I never went on a date with her until she was in North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Just like flirting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there was natural flirting back and forth, and I was just like, I knew that, like, with that video timing, I probably just looked like I was, like, felt guilty for even talking to the girl at work.
Well, you probably did, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys fight before, you and Shanann? I know you talked about, like, not really raising your voice and stuff. Was there... Because I want to say, didn't a neighbor talk about them fighting and stuff?
Yeah, but that was embellished and exaggerated, and he retracted that.
Oh, he ended up doing that?
He retracted that. So.
Did you guys ever fight? Did you ever... was there any domestic violence in your house? Like,
No, like, never.
this is strange to us to
Even
have...
from her to you, I mean,
Yeah.
she gets mad when she's pregnant and grabs a knife or
No, like,
scratches you or smacks you around or nothing?
no, she'd never, like, nothing.
Okay.
That's what makes all this even more hard to understand from my standpoint, and nothing yours too.
Yeah.
Did she ever belittle you at all? Did you ever feel that way, maybe?
Was that?
Did she ever make you feel like she belittled you, or you felt belittled by her?
I mean, there's always points, like, in a marriage where, like, the dominant person, like, takes control of everything. But, like, my whole life, I just kind of went with the flow. Like, I never, like, put myself in the center of attention. I didn't want to be.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the back row. So, I mean, if she did belittle me, I couldn't pick an exact point or time.
She never really felt that way about it.
No, I mean, I always knew I was like, the introvert, and she was she took control of most situations. Like when people came over, like, I knew what my role was.
Yeah.
Like, I watch videos of, like cooking, or she'd make, like, power balls, or, or, like, protein balls, or whatever.
Yeah.
You just don't seem like you want to be in those videos.
No.
Like, I feel like you were being forced to be in those videos, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me.
I hated being in videos. I mean, I did it for her, because it was for her business and stuff, but, like, it was, I hated just being out for everybody to see. That's why, like, the whole, like, the gender reveal thing, I was just like, I didn't want it to be like some live Facebook video. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
But, like, I never wanted to be out there.
Yeah.
I'm like...
Well, even when she was, because we talk about this a lot, Tammy and I and Dave, even when it was, I think it was Florida on some Lavelle or Thrive thing, and she's like, "Here we are, and it's all expenses paid." And
I was like,
I remember looking at you and thinking, like, he is not into this video right now.
No, you don't look into any of the videos, I'll be honest with you.
I wouldn't be either.
Yeah.
That's not me.
yeah,
I get it.
I mean, I remember you talking about, like, she would even post stuff for you. Like,
Oh, yeah.
because you're technically a salesman, too, of
Yeah.
Lavelle, of Thrive.
Like she put me underneath her, not like anything, like any of my friends or stuff, like anything I do would help her.
Right.
So it was just, I would send her pictures. Like I should take a picture with your patch. I'm like, okay, send it to her, and then she'd make a post about it. She was like, oh, you need to take more control over like your business and stuff. I was like, I don't know what to talk about.
Right.
Like if I wanted to talk to somebody at the mall or at the pool or somebody about this, I just stumble all over my words and just like they'd be like, okay, bye. But no.
Yeah.
I'm not the salesman. Jesus. I mean, she could sell everything you're wearing back to you,
Right.
and you wouldn't even know it. Like, wait, I just paid
Right.
for this shirt. I paid $20 for it. Yeah, those videos were not me. I did it just to support her. You know, like she would always say, "Oh."
Could you tell her no? Could you say, I don't want to be in that video? Or was that an option?
Probably not an option. Yeah. I mean, it's like, she would have been like, "Oh, why this is to, help our family. This is for, to help this and that." So I couldn't have told her no. I mean, it would have made her mad. I would have been like, no. I wouldn't want to start that just because it's for the business, it's for the family. I was just gonna try to help out wherever we can.
Right.
Did that actually make money?
Mm-hmm.
So not only just more sales, but it actually put money in your guys' pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And she made probably in that last year probably as much as I did.
On commissions, basically. I mean, I know that's a simplified version of it, but
Yep. I mean, it's they don't take taxes out on it, so
right.
So that was like the good thing, and they paid for your car.
Mm-hmm.
So
Did they give you an allowance or something to buy a car?
yeah, if you're a certain level, like a 12K or above, they give you a car allowance once a month. I'm not sure how they made money. The owners doing that, but they did.
Yeah.
Unless they're just like in the same markup on the product, which I guess there is.
Probably is, yeah.
I'm not sure how much it costs for them to make it.
Yeah.
Did you feel like a different person wearing those patches?
Especially like the Duo, the Burn. Like the Apple Watches. Like if you look on it, like when it tells you you're exercising, it says I was exercising like all day. Because my heart rate was like up.
Oh.
Just from those patches.
Was it full of caffeine or what?
They just have something. They had something in them. I mean, the black label ones, the longer black ones, those had caffeine in them, but it never had that effect. I mean, the Duo Burn ones, the ones that are more of like the fat loss type, it felt like I was working out all day, even though I wasn't.
Oh, were you tired?
I mean, I know at some points, even Nikki said that, like, I'd fall asleep on the couch, on her couch, while I was talking to her, and then, like, pick back up like I never knew I fell asleep. Which I don't know if it was, like, an insomnia thing or what, but, like, I wasn't sleeping much.
You had a lot going on then.
Yeah, but those are the only patches I really felt like a real big difference on, just because it felt like I was working out all day.
Mm-hmm. You don't feel like they changed your personality or anything like that, though? Or do you?
I don't really know. I know I just felt different on those than any other patch. I felt like I could just go longer and longer each day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if that was probably a bad thing, because I don't think I was probably sleeping more than 3 hours a night.
So would you stay when Shannon was gone, would you stay with Nikki and then go home to get ready?
Yeah, I just wake up at 4:30 and go home and get ready for work and leave. And I just worked out when I got back home.
Mm-hmm.
What were the conversations with Nikki as far as at some point you guys were talking about her helping you find an apartment? So what did you guys talk about as far as your future together?
That didn't really happen until I got back from the beach. So I told her I lied to her, like, hey, like, I had talked to Shanann about getting a separation.
And that talk hadn't happened yet.
No, I mean, it kind of like, she knew something was going on and things. I mean, we weren't sleeping in the same room, and then she even mentioned the fact, like, hey, Colorado's 50-50 state or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, I guess she looked it up. But, that actual talk hadn't actually happened. I was just like, I thought it was going to happen.
Yeah. And so in conversations with Nikki, I get it. I mean, you're telling her like the progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was. And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more of like she's going to help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like another for Lupton or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that? Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I've been a little too soon. I would have thought. There was just, we'd only been really seeing each other like almost like a month, or maybe just talking about 2 months. That would have been really. She called her house, like her apartment, like her. I don't know, like her, kind of like a shield, or kind of like her. She had another word for it, but.
Like her safe place?
Yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she was like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she could say, hey, you just ship people on here type thing. Okay.
So you and Shannon, did you talk about selling the house? At what point did you? There was some discussion there with Ann Meadows.
Yeah, she had sent an email to Ann about like how we would go about like selling the house.
Yeah.
And I think Ann told her about Ann was always about getting pre-approved. Just like like if you're going to sell your house, get pre-approved for like another house, so it's like much faster.
Yeah, so you can just quickly transition from one to the other. Okay. When did that happen?
Cut on. I was like, I didn't know like it was Aaron was the one there.
Progress toward the divorce is a little bit more than it was. And then so what were you guys planning?
So it was more like she's gonna help me find an apartment that was affordable. That's kind of just around like Brighton or maybe just close to work, like another for Lupton or something around there. That's kind of like where my area was.
Did you talk about moving in with her?
She didn't want that.
She didn't want that? Would you have done that if she would have been cool with that?
I've been a little too soon. I would have thought there was just we only been really seeing each other like almost like a month, or they just talking about 2 months. That would be really. She called her house like her apartment like her. I don't know, like her, kind of like a shield, or kind of like her. She had another word for it, but
Like her safe place?
yeah, like a safe place or something like that. And she's like, people like to invade it, but that's why she always let me come over, because she said she felt like it was fine, like her dog liked me and everything. Like she could say, hey, just should be belong here type thing. Okay.
So you and Shannon, did you talk about selling the house? At what point did you? There was some discussion there with Ann Meadows.
Yeah, she had sent an email to Ann about like how we would go about like selling the house.
Yeah.
And I think Ann told her about Ann was always about getting pre-approved. Just like like if you're going to sell your house, get pre-approved for like another house, so it's like much faster.
Yeah, so you just quickly transition from one to the other. Okay. When did that happen? Remember?
I think it was either right before we left. No, that had to have been like first week of August, somewhere around there. I think she may have contacted her.
Okay. So the plan was maybe to buy a house. I think you told me in Brighton. You think about buying a house in Brighton?
Yeah, just like she liked that Adams 12 school system or something.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I think that's what Brighton is. Adams.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about when you called the school that day, on Monday?
I was freaking out. I didn't know, like I was thinking in my head, like what I just did, what I just done, and I didn't know, like it was stupid to do anything. Just, to call the school, to call Ann, to call anybody. They were right to be, suspicious about anything. Like, 'cause I knew I probably sounded eccentric on the phone and out of sorts, and just I don't even know what they were thinking. They heard me.
I think they thought I was weird, but I don't know how you would not sound weird, like you said, so.
So, are you 100% sure the girls were still around and alive when you drove out? Okay. So that's completely accurate. There's nothing else about that.
And they got in the truck.
Okay.
Where did the blanket go?
It's probably in the trash can or something, I think.
In the trash?
It wasn't it was still in my truck.
Okay. We thought we saw some GPS where you had stopped by near a construction roll-off dumpster. Is that true, or?
I think that's I dumped my clothes in there.
So that would have been on the way back to the house?
Yeah. My neighborhood.
Yeah. When Officer Kunab was there? Okay. Was it one of those red construction dumpsters?
More than likely.
Okay.
Did you pack new clothes? How did that work?
I already have some in there, because in case we have a spill or something.
Oh.
If you ever get crude oil on you, you don't. Yeah, I have 2 pairs of boots, all kinds of different stuff in there, just because just one time I had to clean up a spill and I had defrost on, and I had a headache for 2 weeks because the crude oil that comes, it's bad. So I always have something in there.
So where did you keep them after you took them off? Did you just change out there into your new other clothes?
So I dumped my clothes in that dumpster.
But wasn't that on the way back? When you were coming? You'd already worked the whole day, right?
I worked till 11 or so.
11.
Yeah. So that was back when Nicole Atkinson.
Yeah, when she was at my house, hit the doorbell, that's when I knew someone was at the house.
Right.
Did you think right then, oh fuck, here we go? Or what were you thinking then?
I didn't even know why she was there. I was I didn't know, maybe she had an appointment or something with Shanann. I didn't know.
What did you think, that day, what you were going to say? What was your plan? Were you just going to go home and be report to the police that your family's gone, or?
Once, I had no idea what was going to happen. After everything, I don't even know how I was even acting even normal to people that I was around. Because when, Troy and Cody and Chad and Melissa and all them, when they showed up on the site, I don't even know how I was even somewhat even coherent what I was saying, but apparently they understood me. So I didn't know what was going to happen. Like I said, this wasn't like something like some criminal minds type.
Like well thought out.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing like that.
You're just minute by minute at that point.
Yeah, it was. I had no idea what was going to happen.
So once the girls were gone, was it also just a minute by minute thing as far as the oil tanks?
Yeah, I didn't know what to do. I mean, just thinking about an oil tank just makes me want to throw up.
And was that just because it was in front of you and there it was and just presented itself? It wasn't a plan beforehand? Okay. Was there any reason why just separate ones?
No, it's like you said, it was like going up the stairs, and it just didn't. No, like what Frank said, it's like I was trying to separate everybody. That's not.
No.
No, I didn't want to separate anybody.
What was the reason?
I can't even tell you. It was like I said, like something else was in control of what I was doing, and it was like I was doing something I never thought I would ever do in my life.
Did you think there would be less chance of someone finding them if they were in separate tanks, or?
Sounds like he's over there.
Oh.
No, whatever my reasoning was in my head that day, it wasn't sound. Nothing was right.
And you don't even remember thinking about it?
No, it was just like like a reaction of something that I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah.
Can you talk about the trash bags? Do you remember that?
Oh, with
There were two.
okay, yes, trying to, because like she kept. I didn't want to, like when I was putting there's one coherent, I guess, thing I had, like I didn't want the girls looking at Shanann while they were in the back seat.
So what'd you do?
I put a trash bag on one end and on her feet and on her head, so they didn't have to see.
Okay. And they were just too little to kind of figure out, right?
Yeah, they didn't notice.
Okay. That's good.
I just know, like when I was driving up there, I mean, they were just, sitting there, just, kind of asleep or kind of just like, holding on to each other, laying in each other's laps. I didn't.
Do you remember having any thoughts or thinking about why not just putting them all together with Shanann?
Honestly, it was just happening so fast. I had no time to really have a thought that was my own.
Okay.
But I wasn't like dutifully trying to separate anybody passing away, trying to keep anybody separate. And everything, Frank, Sandy, and Frankie said, like I don't hold it against them. I mean, they can hate me for. They have a right to hate me for the rest of their lives.
They don't
They
hate you.
don't. In fact, while we're on the subject, I speak with them weekly, and I told them that we were going to come here and then hopefully would speak with us. And they told me to tell you, understandably, they're devastated. But they actually said that they love you. They still love you. And Sandy explained it. He's our son-in-law for 8 years. I can't just turn that off. So they don't hate you. They don't.
That's amazing to hear that.
Yeah. Well, and I can tell you, Sandy was the one that was most resistant to penalties in this case, and she said that. She told me that from the very beginning. That she didn't want that. It's God's decision. It's not her decision. And then she told me that even then. So it's not just a one-time thing that she has said it to me. It's been over the whole course of the event. So that's probably one of the most honest things someone's ever told me. So it's pretty amazing. Faith is. She's obviously a believer. So am I. I get it. So I understand it. So.
That's amazing to even hear that.
Yeah. Good people.
I would have figured they would have hated me for.
They don't. I mean, yeah, anybody would think that. I certainly would have, but I have to admit I was surprised, really taken back by that, but they certainly don't. So.
What did they say when they knew you were coming out here?
They said they want to know, details, because they need closure, and that's really all they want, and they want to keep it private. And I said, well, absolutely, we'll talk to them about what you told us, and just so they can put it past them, because they're having a hard time dealing with it and trying to get past it all, and I think that may help, just to know.
Closures, I mean, my parents still think, like, I told them I pled guilty for a reason.
Right.
Right.
And, like, I told it to them when they had that video phone thing in Colorado the day before, like, I pled guilty. Like, I plead guilty for a reason. Like, I didn't just, I knew other people were watching. So I didn't just go in and, like, just say anything. Like, they seemed to take it, like, okay.
What made you do that, Chris? What made you plead guilty?
I didn't want anybody else to. I didn't want them to go through this for 2 or 4 years. I didn't want my attorneys to lie for me for 2 or 4 years. Like, they would have done anything I told them to do.
Sure.
That's what they're. I don't see how they can do that. Like, that's what attorneys do. Like, they take their defendant and they say, like, what happened? Okay, we'll go with that story. Like, I told them everything I just told you guys. And it's just like, they got together, like, well, if they ever offered a plea deal, would you ever want to, like, just plead guilty to them? Like, yeah, I mean, if we can end this, end it. Like, I was, like, in September, I told them that.
Really?
Yeah, but, it was way too early, and prosecution was still doing their investigating, still grabbing evidence and all kinds of stuff, and that wasn't even really on the table. So I think it was like around Halloween. I think that's when the prosecution went to Frank and Sandy and Frankie's house, and it's talking like, if we can end this, would you be open to that? And that's when, like, like the whole death penalty and everything, all that conversation happened. And I guess they were surprised that it would just be over.
Yeah.
And
we were all in shock, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was like.
It's like we were going 100 miles an hour, and then we just hit a brick wall. Like, that's what it felt like to all of us. So, I mean, obviously you had more time to contemplate it than us.
I told John and Kate and Sophia and everybody, Amy, okay, if we can just stop this, and, like, I know it's, everybody's telling me to fight this, there's no, like, everybody's saying there's, like, not enough evidence to such and this and that, and I'm just like, no, this needs to end. Like, I don't want people to have to, because for Frank and everybody to have to fly back to Colorado every single time and get reminded of this, like, I'm not sure, it's never going to go away, but to actually have to come and talk about it, have other people talk about it, have, all three of you get on the witness stand and say, what they saw, what they've seen, what they heard on tapes and everything like that. It's just like, I don't want people to relive that over and over and over again for years. Like, if I could just end this for everybody, and then, like, if there's any closure at all, they could start then instead of, like, 2022. But, everything just, like, so I know it'd only get worse for everybody.
So did it have anything to do with you not having the death penalty?
No, like, I mean, honestly, like, when I was sitting in that cell, I felt like I should die. I mean, I was listening to everybody telling me, like, hey, if you do this and this, you can hang yourself in that cell, you could do this and that.
They were, like, telling you stuff.
Yeah, you could drown yourself in the toilet if you wanted to fill your toilet bowl up or something like that. It was, they've been there a bunch of times. And, like, at one point I was listening to them. Mm-hmm. I was like, I just felt like maybe there's a different purpose for me somewhere. Maybe it's here. I don't know. Like, I prayed to God every day that He would move me away from Colorado, like, move me away from, like, at the DOC there because I just knew, like, they were saying there was a hit on me. They said if I was going to a DOC in Colorado, like, I'd last a week and I'd be dead. Because of, like, the gangs and all that kind of stuff. So, like, I just felt like God moved me here for a reason, and I'll, hopefully I can help people that way. But, like, I didn't want my family, I didn't want Shanann's family, all our friends, like, having to go through that, because after a while I knew it was like this stuff was everywhere, and I knew like all her Thrive friends, everybody, that was just like they were just broke, just with that hole in their heart just a little bit bigger every time. I didn't want that, because I knew it would have gotten worse. I didn't want it to get any worse than it already was.
Did you ever think about, well, it could be very believable, what I told him, it could be very believable that Shanann did, end the girls. And so maybe if I tried to convince people that, maybe if I fought with my attorneys on that, maybe I could lessen it somehow. Did you ever think about that?
Honestly, I never even thought about the story until you guys mentioned it.
Yeah?
No.
Okay.
I wondered.
I never even thought about it until you guys mentioned it.
So what did you think about it once it got mentioned?
It's just like I just went with it. I didn't, like, I knew my dad was out there. I knew it was like, I knew they would probably believe it because, my mom and my sister just never really liked Shanann. I knew it, like, I mean, through all this, like, I got letters from some of my friends that even said, when we went over to your house, we could see, Shanann was more of a dominant personality and more of like, you're always helping with the kids and everything. Just, you're a great dad and everything. We could see, a couple things that I never saw or, whatnot. And even my best friend Mark even said, there was always, something, I didn't really get with Shanann. I was like, nobody ever told me any of this stuff, but okay. But yeah, I never thought about that story. And, that's what my attorneys were going with.
Yeah.
And then, like, I think it was probably the second week I told them, like, what had really happened.
What'd they say after that?
They were quiet. They were writing it down. They said they wouldn't judge me, so I told them.